insane. Twitch and YouTube growing his name. Phat Airlines. Phat Air. Phat Airlines takes the stage, WOA, streaming high in the virtual air. World of airports, the game is live. He's landing planes with a vibe so fly. Phat Airlines, soar in the skies, streaming the hustle, watch the views rise. Pilots and planes, oh man, it's insane. Twitch and YouTube growing his name. From tarmac dreams to handles tight, every touchdown a perfect flight. He's a runway king, streak out the fog. Game so smooth, they call it airlock. Phat Airlines, soaring the skies, streaming the hustle, watch the views rise. Pilots and planes, oh man, it's insane. Twitch and YouTube growing his name. Chatting with the fans, call signs loud. Leader of the fleet, yeah, he makes us proud. Pushing content like a jumbo's thrust in Phat Airlines we trust. Pin the radar, he's live again. Communities tight like aviation, friends like skyrocket. Engine scream, Phat Airlines living in a stream. Phat Airlines takes the stage with fair lore, streaming high in the virtual air. World of airports, the game is live. He's landing planes with a vibe Suho.
Yo, where is my game? What's up, guys? How's it going? I got an echo in my ears. How's everybody doing today? It's a happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing good. I am doing fine myself. Today we're going to be playing some San Diego and some LHR. It's been a long time since we played San Diego, so I want to play some San Diego. We're playing on my stream only account, and we're also going to talk about the ATC manager. I know a lot of you guys are a little upset about the price to be increased for the ATC manager. So I'm going to talk about some strategies, what I do in order to kind of get the ATC working properly, and especially with what's it called? Especially if you don't have a lot of gold planes or silver planes, I should say. So hold on. All right, that is. There we go. All right. Well, guys, thanks for being here. What's up, Kuba? What's up, Riceless Invader? Thanks for being first, man. We got Educate Learn is here. We got I Like Planes here. We have TJ the Greatest. How you guys like the Phat Airlines song? Blob King is here. San's here. Special Dancers here. What's up, dude? In Phat Airlines we trust, right? All right, let's get into San Diego. So we got World of Airports 3.0 on April 1st. So that's pretty exciting. Then World of Airports updated quickly to 3.0.1. We haven't had an update since, so we'll see what that looks like. We'll see if there's another bug fix or what's going to happen afterwards. But I'm enjoying 3.0. How are you guys feeling about it? I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's a really cool update. It took some time to get used to, but once I got used to it, things are pretty fantastic. Don't know who that is. Okay. Go. Right. Someone stopped using ATC Manager since then. Interesting. So, all right. We're gonna talk straight up. What's up, Mert? What's up, Invader? Invader, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Invader. Thanks for being first too, man. Buttons are small. Yeah, I mean, I play mainly on an iPad, so I don't really get to notice the buttons being like that super small. But when I play on my phone, I definitely feel it. So I can understand what we got here. All right, so let's talk about the ATC manager, right? So the ATC manager, oops, wrong button. It's down here. It's down here on the bottom now. And with the ATC manager, they did increase the price, right? So you have you have three speed up options. You have mild, medium, and high, right? And then you have an option to extend the duration. And then for depending upon which manager you're on, you have other options as well. So, you know, before it used to cost, I think, like what, 15 silver planes to initially start a tower manager for 15 minutes. And then like 10 silver planes after that for just like the lowest speed. And now it's 35, right? 35, and then it goes up. Then it goes down to 20 silver planes for extending the timer, right? So there's a couple things you want to keep in mind when you're playing World of Airports, right? I mean, the first thing is you don't need to activate the tower managers. I prefer having the tower managers on though. But you don't need to have all of them on if you're going to have them on. San Diego is probably not the best airport today with all this fog. But yeah, you don't have to have all the tower managers on at once. You can just decide to have one or two of them on. So that's typically what I'm going to recommend to people. Like, I know well, let me kind of backtrack a little bit, right? Because there are some specific things you have to keep in mind. So if you know how before I told you guys that I would turn LHR on, and I would turn all 4 tower managers on. I would leave the game for a couple of hours, and then I would come back later and then play the game. That might not be the best strategy anymore. Might not be the best strategy anymore. Mainly because when it comes to the setting it and forgetting it, you're spending a lot of silver planes in order to do that. So it could be really tough if you're not actively playing to do that. So I wouldn't set it for 2 hours. I'd probably set it for like 30 minutes and then come back to the game. So that way my stands, like my tower managers are actively working versus like maybe not doing any work. Before, when it was so like cheap, I guess when it was cheaper, spending the silver planes didn't matter because you would make your silver planes back no matter what. But if you're spending too much time away from the game, away from your keyboard, then you might not get your silver planes. You might not make your silver planes back. So something to keep in mind when you're playing. That's one thing as well. I need to catch up on chat. For some reason, my multi-chat is like gone, so I have a new window with it open. Excuse me. You want tips for LHR? That's great. We're going to be in LHR in about an hour. Oops. We're going to be in LHR in about an hour. So what I always like to recommend to people, even though I only have 805 silver planes, I still will recommend that people go ahead and activate the approach manager. The approach manager is just so useful to making sure that you're gonna get planes on the ground, because like that's the number one thing in World of Airports. You have to have planes on the ground to handle. That's how you get XP. That's how you get silver planes. And all these other managers you can kind of figure out how to work without. I mean, you could work without the approach manager too, but this is one way to guarantee that you're going to get back-to-back arrivals, like as long as you have planes assigned to stands, right? So we have to go to the filter here. We have to go to needs attention. I feel like I should have a lot more planes here than this. Maybe all my planes are large. Maybe that's what's happening. I might refresh my game. Oh, wait, what the... Yeah, okay, all my stands are occupied already? That's crazy. Okay. I guess last time I played, I must have turned on all the tower managers or something, or I must have assigned them all. But anyways, back on track. Yeah, as long as you have like the approach manager on, these planes will continue to land, right? Here's another plane that landed without me having to interact with it, so that's pretty nice. So planes will just continue to land over and over again. Which is very, very exactly what you want, because you can't handle planes if they're not on the ground. So let's go ahead and favorite that plane. This plane is at 9 out of 10, so we're gonna favorite that. Another thing too, especially at an airport like San Diego, where you have very limited, F, E, and D stands. I want to make those be the first planes on the top of the list. I want the arrival manager to land F planes first. Now, one other thing too I do with the tower manager sometimes is if I'm at an airport like Nagoya, where there's so many like large stands over there, I might turn this off, the arrival sequence, so that way it'll just assign planes in the order they were assigned. Planes will land in the order they were assigned in. So that's super helpful to making sure that we can still have handling crew. But all right, let me read you guys chats, because I've been talking about ATC for like a few minutes here. Yo, what's up, ASB Mix? How's my day going? It's good. I saw my mom. It's been like a month since I last seen her, so it's nice. Your WOA game has been loading really quick. Nice. DJ likes being able to pick the amount of time. That is one really cool thing. I can plan ahead. Like, oh, I'm gonna be playing for an hour, so here's an hour of Tower Managers. I don't have to click it multiple times. That's like one of the things I noticed with a lot of things with this update. In the past, there was a lot of clicking. Now, most things have less clicks in order to accomplish. There are a few things that need more clicks, but not too many. Yo, what's up, Flamingo? Yeah, the fog is pretty crazy. Inflation in WOA, bro. I know, right? I mean, the Tower Managers were kind of cheap. In my opinion, I think they were pretty cheap. Like, it was almost like a guaranteed profit, even if you used all 4 of them. Now, you kind of have to be playing in order to profit from the ATCs. You know, I could step away from the game. I could set up my LHR for like 3 hours of Tower Managers, have all the planes on the ground, and still make profit. Now, I could probably still do that because in order to set all the Tower Managers up, well, I already have the Approach Manager on, so it might be a little bit more expensive, but it's about 1,000 silver planes to set up for 2 hours, right? So that's not actually too bad because look at the rewards for these planes, right? Rewards, whoops. When I finish this contract, this A35K, that's going to a player to Prague from San Diego, I get 1,000 silver planes. So you do need like a few contracts in your, like, I would say staggering contracts, because it's very nice when you can get like 1,000 silver planes here, 1,000 silver planes there. Like even with this A388 from Eric, me completing this is going to get me 1,000. So that's going to pay for, you know, at least 2 hours of Tower Managers if I want to think about it that way. But that will only really work at a bigger airport like LHR. At a small airport like San Diego, I don't think it makes sense to have 2 hours of Tower Managers, you know? Maybe with the 112 arrivals that I have in this airport, it could make sense. But for the most part, I don't think it makes the most sense to activate that much. Invader only actives on IAD, Nagoya, and Muscat to farm silver planes. Nice. I Like Plane says, if you do the math, it's better to spend silver planes on contracts because you get 12 using 10,000 silver planes. With gold planes, you only get 10 contracts using 10,000 silver planes. What? It's better to spend silver planes on contracts. Bro, why would you spend... Well, first off, yeah, why would you spend silver planes on contracts when you can just become a regional airport and not have to pay silver planes on contracts? Or you could become a international airport and not have to spend silver planes on contracts. And I don't know what you're talking about with using gold planes for contracts. Oh. You're talking about buying contract capacity. Better to spend silver planes on contract because you get 12 using 10,000 silver planes. I guess, yeah, you get 12. You only get 10 contracts with 10,000 silver planes. I guess, yeah, that's one way to think about it. Yeah, that's a cool way to think about it. The only problem, though, is that the contract capacity timer for silver planes is 48 hours, whereas the timer for gold planes is 24 hours. So you're not gonna get it as fast. And the fog is bad here, but you can see the jet bridges. That's kind of funny. You gotta manually push back and line up because I don't have the Tower Managers on for those features, so you do have to pay attention to that. But yeah, with the contract capacity, there's a timer for those, so that's the only I guess, negative. That's how you operate the arrival sequence? Yeah, man. So yeah, when you go into the tower managers, you got the options for speed up, option for timer, and the approach departure ratio. The approach departure ratio really only works when you have both the approach and departure manager on. Otherwise, it doesn't really make a difference. And it only makes a difference in like an airport where you have runways that are used for both landing and arrival. Sorry, that's the same word, same thing. Arrivals and departures, right? Landings and takeoffs. So, for example, LHR, the approach departure ratio does not matter. But here at San Diego, one runway airports, this will matter a lot if you have both of the managers on. So 2-to-1 means that 2 planes will land and then 1 plane will depart. 5-to-1 means 5 planes will land and 1 plane will depart. And then 1-to-5 means 1 plane will land and then 5 planes will depart. You got over here, one other thing too is if you change this ratio, it'll change it for the departure manager as well. So it saves over there as well. Then you have this option to prefer favorite airplanes. So what this does, if it's turned on, your favorite, any planes with a heart on them are going to land first. So for example, oh look, it's Flamingo. For example, when I had a plane over here, I had this plane. This plane was like, is not necessarily like, it wasn't the first plane to be assigned, but because it was hearted, it was landed immediately. Otherwise, the way the approach manager will work is if both of these options are off, then the approach manager will land planes in the same order planes were assigned stands. All right. So if you have this off and this off, planes will land in the order that they were assigned. Now, if you have this on, the favorite airplanes will land first, still in the order that they were assigned. Then you have arrival sequence. So the way arrival sequence works is you can adjust it. You hit the dots over here. You can move, different sizes. But what will happen here is the approach manager will also prioritize based on this list right here. So I have it. So F planes will land first. E planes will land second, D planes will land third, G will land fourth, C will fifth, B sixth, and A seventh. So no matter the order that they were assigned, F planes are always going to land first. All right. So that's where this comes into play. If you're really being strategic, or if you're in an airport for a very long time, it might make sense to turn this off or to even adjust this in the middle of you playing your airport. Sometimes, like for example, like at MSY, actually maybe like it's more like IAD, but like where I need more medium planes or seaplanes to go, I'll go in here and move that up for like a few minutes, so that way I can get more C-sized planes landed on the ground. Let me turn off these filters, man. These filters messing me up. All right, sorry. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm looking for, plane. I'm looking for planes that need to be like they're close to completion, so that way I could send them out. Minecraft movie, nice. Ghaffari Ilham said, "Hello, sir. Can you show me how to play an IAD?" Well, we're not going to be playing an IAD today, but I can definitely help you with your question, all right? So you say, hello, sir. I want to know if an IAD can land 2 planes at the same time on different runways. So the way World Airports works with these plane arrivals is usually the stand that you assign your planes to determine which runway the plane is going to land at. So in IAD, you might want to try different terminals there, and then you can have, there's 3 runways at IAD that are used for arrivals. You don't get to pick which plane or which runway the plane arrives in or lands in. It's all based on what stand that plane is assigned to. The tower managers unionized and negotiated a raise. The ATC is a good incentive to batch handle an airport. That's true too. And that's another important thing. Thank you, Flamingo. Is when it comes to like the tower managers, what I end up doing, if I forget to renew this, I just end up going to a different airport. Because like, to start a brand new manager, like this guy's already working, right? So to extend his time, it's a lot cheaper. But like, if he leaves even for like 1 second and you're like 1 second too late and he leaves his desk, and now you got to pay him 35 silver planes to get back on that desk and for 10 minutes. So always make sure you're extending this timer. That's going to save you quite a lot over some time. Quite a lot, because I've made those mistakes multiple times. Man, this airport is super foggy. That's this, you know, scenarios like this today where we're playing an airport and it's just like foggy like this makes me wish that there was an option to like just like go into game settings, right, and have an option to like turn off weather effects. Because like this is cool, especially like if you're in San Diego or like it's based off of real life weather, but man, can't see anything. Look, here we go. The rare sight of a D plane in a C stand. You won't see that for a while. I've heard though this may cause some bugs in the game. I've heard other people having issues where because they had a D plane in a C stand, that plane would like handle weird. So hopefully we don't get any bugs with that, but I'm kind of preparing for it. Oh, didn't we have another large plane cleared to land? Where did it go? Let me check my approach manager here. FED-GCBA. Yeah, so, oh, because that's a D plane. Okay, that makes sense. So maybe it's a D plane as well. Yeah, these D planes are going to be rough because the D cargo are only these two. Right, so this one over here and then this one over here. So there's only 2 D cargo here. So let's go to overhead map here. Right, so have the cargo section, right, and you can handle C planes over here, but now the 752F is a D plane, so it has to be handled over here. You could also handle C planes there, so that could be rough too, because you have to buy the C stand over here. So if the tower manager, the delivery manager in particular, automatically assigns, oh look, a D over here, let's go. Oh, stand is occupied. Oh, that's pretty cool though. At least there's some D stands over here. That could help, because that way I don't have to occupy these stands. So that's nice. That's not terrible. I was reading some of you guys' comments about like San Diego saying how terrible it is because your D planes have to go over here. I think it's terrible for your cargo, because there's no D over here, so like you're kind of stuck. But at least for your passenger planes, you got a D stand right there, a D stand over here, and they don't even block anything on the other stands, so that's pretty cool. You got a D right here. Yeah, no blocking, nothing's getting blocked, so that is nice to see. That's not too bad. And then there's other L planes that are now D planes. So super helpful. I should probably play some more San Diego again. Maybe not when it's foggy like this though. Is it worth getting liveries? I mean, on a pure like money, no. Right? Like you're not making more Wallers, you're not making more silver planes, you're not getting more gold planes because you have a livery. So like on that strictly that purpose, no, it's not worth it. But like having an airport full of Snow White planes can get a little boring, right? But here's what I did. You know, on my free-to-play account, I prioritized unlocking new planes first, and then I unlocked liveries. You know, your choices might be different, but that's what I did, and it worked for me. I like playing. Says sorry for the confusion. No worries. I had to just read it a couple times. What's up, Rhoda Bridge? What's up, Made to Move? Can you send me an F plane to St. Martin? Which F planes can go to St. Martin? What's up, Jamal France? What's the best E plane to buy? Well, how come I didn't see that message? It's crazy. Oh, it's because Stansted was spamming, bro. Yo, don't spam, bro. I'm gonna ban you next time. I like playing said I only realized after 3 years of WOA that cargo gives more XP. Well, I think it's only been 2 years. Because XP used to work different. Like XP used to not be a thing, right? So don't feel too bad. Oh no, all crew members assigned. Alright, let's hire some more. We're gonna claim the free ones. Not gonna watch an ad. But yeah, like this D plane, this DH-64, did not have to be on this stand. And I probably won't. I don't think I assigned it to the stand. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I would not recommend it. I would assign the D plane like over here. This stand, that stand, something over here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I have a D plane waiting to land here. So I want to make sure I'm assigning these D planes. That way I'm not accidentally occupying one of those like EF stands, you know? So does IN have large planes like cargo ones, or was it just St. Martin that just got large cargo planes? Well, I don't know. I haven't played Innsbruck. Does anybody know? I got a cough. Excuse me for a second. All right, I'm back. When you set up the tower manager and leave the iPad, does the screen turn off and the game run in the background, or is the screen always on? Oh no, no giveaways. No giveaways. Now that you did it, I gotta stop what I'm doing. I gotta turn it off. I gotta reject this giveaway. All right, cool. Yeah, sorry. Giveaways are gonna be paused for a while because I gotta figure out. Well, my bot doesn't it clears it off like every once in a while. Or something happens. Anyways, all right. Back to Nico's question. Nico said, when you set up the tower manager and leave the iPad, does the screen turn off and the game run in the background, or is the screen always on? So at World of Airports, right? If you look at the tower managers, it says, be careful, time is running even when the game is turned off or paused, right? So you have to have the screen open, the game open, and the screen on in order for the tower managers to actively be doing things. That's how it works for a lot of things in World of Airports. The only thing that doesn't require your game to be on in order for it to progress is maintenance. So maintenance is like one of the only things in World of Airports that I can think of right now, at least, that will let the timer run in your favor, even while you're not playing the game. So it's always a good idea to like go into your airports, do those airplanes that need maintenance, and then you can even back out of that airport and then come back 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes later, depending upon what plane it is, and that plane will be ready for handling for small maintenance. Even for large maintenance, when it's leaving your airport, same thing with that. The large planes and maintenance, the large maintenance, you have to, pay for maintenance. You have to hit the button that says send maintenance. But then once you send it out for maintenance, if it's 15 hours, you come back 15 hours later, that plane is ready for landing. So maintenance is one of the only things where in the game you don't have to like wait for it. Whereas like for the tower managers, you have to have the game open. For handling a plane, you have to have the game open. So that's just how that works. Yep. Good question, man. It is kind of related though. It's not really off topic. TJ makes a good point about liveries. Liveries make your planes recognizable to other players, so it could be good for contracts. That's true. That's a good point, right? Because it's more noticeable. Like one, if you pick colors that are the same as mine, I'm typically handling them first because I think they're mine. Because like sometimes I'm in this overhead view and I'm like, oh, here's a plane, and I'm like, oh, that's not even mine, but I'm already on it, so I'm gonna handle it. I like keep going around. I'm like, oh, here's another plane. Oh, that's not even mine. Whatever. I'm handling it anyways. I clicked on it, and I look for another blue plane. That's not a blue plane, but I'm gonna handle this. 26 minutes. Oof. Okay, so over here, now back to tower managers, guys. So over here, let's go to 2D map because it's foggy. Over here, we're starting to get a little bit backed up because I've been ignoring the departure queue. So what might be a good idea is to either like pay more attention, right? So if you're very low on silver planes, like I kind of am, I only got 1,000 on this account. You could just pay attention and make sure you're taking off the planes, like, right? Just like do your own 1 to 3 ratio, right? 1 arrival, 3 departures. So one thing I want to make sure that doesn't happen is I don't want to block the cargo area. I definitely don't want to block the small planes over here. And then the further back you go, the more screwed you are. The harder it is to like recover. You're just gonna have to have so many planes to depart. So the first warning sign is once you're past this cargo area here at San Diego, you want to start lining up planes. That's super important. By the way, for all you guys who are sending me requests, thank you. But also, you do have to buy these contracts to get a contract with my Phat Empire account. You do have to buy the contract, and you can buy a contract on Twitch. You get some for following and for watching on Twitch. You get something called Phat coins, and then you can use those Phat coins to redeem, let's say, an X plane contract for an A388, an L plane contract for the 332 or the 343, or an M plane contract for the A321, A320. A35K is an L plane contract. So we just use the old sizes because they're I don't want to clutter things up. It might get confusing in the future, so I might change it in the future, but for now I'm going to keep it still small, medium, large, X. I'm going to land T5 next. I'm going to heart that too. Phat coins sound like a cryptocurrency. I would love to make a cryptocurrency one day. What's up, Ghosty? Ghosty, you're stuck at Bari. Bari is so annoying, bro. I'm with you. We finished Bari a couple of weeks ago. It was so exciting to kind of finish. Like, smaller planes is going to be key at Bari. But you do need a few larger planes as well, because the larger planes is what's going to get you like the XP that you need to get like those huge jumps in XP. Like, check out this plane right here, right? 189 XP for finishing this contract. You're not going to get an A388 at Bari though, but I can show you like an L plane over here, or a D plane, right? Like this DH-64, 88 XP. You know, a Concorde, which you can't get a Concorde to Bari, sorry, but it's 122. But I'm just trying to prove a point here that you need the L planes, the larger planes, so that way you can get more XP. But you just only have like 2 stands for it, so you don't want to have too many. So you gotta have a balance. And then not only that, you also want to make sure that you have some cargo planes. Cargo planes, somebody was saying it earlier. I think it was I Like Planes maybe, but cargo planes give you more XP than passenger planes. So if you can handle more cargo planes, that's going to help you out a lot too with leveling up. Can't wait to get to Leipzig. Nice. How many levels we need to unlock Muscat? I forget. Oh. Muscat is level 54. So actually not too far. Not too far. The hardest part though is that I haven't been playing San Diego. Like, I still have some of Flamingo's old planes, and they're getting canceled now, which is good. By the way, now too, I think when you cancel a plane, like if you cancel a contract with another player, that plane comes back to you immediately, so you don't have to wait for it to travel back. So that's pretty cool as well. I haven't tried it, but it was in the patch notes. ASB was hoping that the 3.0 update WOA would add a daily or weekly goal plane. Yeah, I can't wait to see like challenges, man. I feel like challenges has such a good opportunity to like give us rewards, keep us playing, right? Because like in this kind of game, you need to reward the people who are playing, because the people who are playing with other people who are playing and keeping those guys playing. It's like, yeah, I need to find a better way to word it, because like I'm using the word play too much. On the Phat Rican SAN, I don't really play San Diego on the Phat Rican too much, so I don't know if I want to tell you yes. I mean, you can go ahead and do it and I'll approve the contract, but I play San Diego on my main account even less than I play it on my stream account. How does Phat just not check his levels? I would check every time it goes up. It's not, I guess, I don't know. Not a big deal to me. The big deal is when we get to the next airport. I know, like, an easy challenge I feel like World of Airports could implement is an XP challenge, right? On every single airport. Like, get 20,000 XP and get, 5,000 silver planes, or get 1 gold plane, Something like that, I think, would just be a pretty cool challenge. It's not easy to accomplish, right? To get 20,000 XP. For those of you who are at, the end game, the last levels at Washington or at London Heathrow, you'll know those last levels are pretty hard to get. So you got to play for a while to get 20,000 XP. I would love to see something like that. That way XP has more benefit to us even after we max out an airport. That would be really cool. I also like your idea, right? Handle X amount of planes for some silver planes. That'd be cool. Especially since in the past, or they World of Airports in the past, they had these options where, or this challenge where you handled X amount of planes and then you got one gold plane, and that would just increase every time you got that reward. So something like that, to see that coming back would be cool. You know, just reward people who play the game. That's what I want to see more of. Yo, what's up, Wizzy? What's up, Mike? An A21NX to my Leipzig? Yeah, that's definitely doable. I play Leipzig like every 2 or 3 days. Leipzig though, I like a lot. I'm max level there. And there's other airports where I'm not max level, so I want to play like some of those airports where I'm not maxed, so that way I can get some rewards, you know? Why is Muscat the least used airport? For who? For me? That's not true. Yeah, I got a lot of planes here. Got a C-30J, but that's not even a player plane. I prefer landing player planes first. Let me go into my list here. All those canceled contracts, sad, but makes sense. It makes sense. All right. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to go through and look for special planes, and also planes that are at 7 or more out of 10 for their contract handling. I am going to make it so it's other player planes only. That way we can heart those special planes and the ones that are almost complete. We want those planes to land first. 100% we want those to land first. There's an 8 out of 10, nice. There's a Concorde up. Oh. 7 out of 10 right there. There's 7, nice. And 7 out of 10. All right, it's going to be a while before we get like a lot of rewards here. But let's assign some stamp. Let's go back to the hearted filter here. Nice. We'll do memorial literature. Let's go back to 3D view. So foggy, man. Duck hasn't unlocked San Diego, Leipzig, and New Orleans. Nice. Leipzig is a good one. The other ones like San Diego and New Orleans, no rush. Leipzig is really nice though. But like Leipzig, it's so weird. Leipzig is cargo airport, right? And cargo airplanes give you the most XP. But yet Leipzig is like one of the like lowest level airports to max out. Like Leipzig should be the airport that has like that 8,000 XP levels. But no. It's not. It's not. More. Oh, that was a D plane. I could have put it somewhere else. Dang it. DJ the Greatest says it handles so many planes, like handle X amount of planes would make S planes popular. Yeah, I mean, the way WOA 1 did it, right, was handling an S plane would give you 1 point, a medium plane would give you 2 points, a large plane would give you 3, and an X plane would give you 4 points. So, I mean, that's another thing they could bring back. Would you recommend grinding to get all the liveries? Nah, man. Unless you like variety, but like there's no benefit to getting, I was talking about this earlier, there's no benefit to unlocking more liveries, right? There might be like some like not exactly like game benefits, right? So it could be helpful because people might recognize your airline when you're in their airport, or like when you're sending it to other people. So like for example, like people know like my colors, right? So they might see that and be like, oh, Phat Airlines. But so that's a cool benefit, especially if you're a newer player. People can kind of get used to your colors and then associate that with you, and then they realize, oh, this guy's a great contract partner. Let's get more contracts with them. So yeah, that could be a benefit, but I don't know if multiple liveries is gonna like really be like that groundbreaking. Could be. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. This stand is occupied, it says. I'm trying to buy all those D stands. So here's another D stand. Stand is occupied. Mike hit regional and GRU this morning. Nice. I'm like level 30 something. I'm like a few levels away from international at GRU, but I also have like a ton. I have a ton of L and X planes. What used to be called L and X planes. Dawn redeemed L plane contract. Nice. Sorry for my delay. Yeah, I hope you guys don't mind that we're playing mainly right now in 2D view. It's just so foggy. Makes me wish that there was an option to like turn off weather. But hey, it is what it is, right? That's how the saying goes. Oh, here's another D stand I can buy, right? Excellent. I'm not too worried about C stands. There's plenty of C. It's the D that I want to make sure we get. From Mert, nice. Buff. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, there's a lot of planes like starting to depart. I think what I'm going to do is activate the departure manager, because what I'm doing, is I'm just getting distracted, right? So I'm telling this plane to line up, but now we also have to tell the plane, hey, you're clear to depart. You're good for takeoff. And in between that, I'm also trying to handle planes over here and like push back planes. So for me, I'm just going to activate for 10 minutes. That way we can get these planes out of the queue and back to their people after months and months of waiting. Because another thing too is what happens now in World of Airports is that these planes don't technically depart your airport. AK, hold on. Maybe some of these airplanes have been waiting for so long they've already taken off. Is that what happened? Alright, DH-64 is gone. So where's that A388? Like an A388, but that's not the same one. Oh, was the other one contract canceled perhaps? Maybe that's what happened. Oh well. Oh, I like planes say I mean the actual airlines. I mean there is a WOApedia, so there are reasons to kind of go hunting for it, and like you could see like which airlines you're missing. You can even sort by the airline if you want. Whoops, you can even sort by the airline if you want. See what planes you're missing, and then there is a leaderboard as well. If you go right down here, you can go to leaderboards and you can see collected liveries. So collected liveries is the leaderboard where you can see, who has the most. You can see number one actually, yeah, number 1 through 7 in iOS have 1466 liveries collected. But that's always, it's a never-ending chase, right? Because they're always adding new planes into the game. They're adding new liveries into the game. So it might be cool. It's not something that really interested me. I keep talking about doing it one day, but I never actually do it. So I'm not sure if I'm interested in it at all. You know, I just keep saying, yeah, one day we'll do it, but that one day never happens. Why is LHR massive and hard? I mean, LHR is really not that hard. It might be hard if you're not doing player contracts, perhaps. But LHR is such a great airport to like really do a lot of player contracts, because with those player contracts, you can get player contracts from almost every single airport in the game. I think there's only the only airport you cannot get contracts from is Sydney. And you can get medium plane contracts, small, you can get all the sizes. So you really do have a lot of opportunity at LHR for player contracts. And I like player contracts because they give you the maximum reward, right? So you start off at the 10 out of 10. So you see here, like, this is a player contract. So we start off at tier 10. But if we look at a non-player contract, we got to work our way all the way up through all the tiers to get to tier 10. So you get the maximum reward for tier 10 rewards for a player contract right off the bat. Now, the bad part about player contracts is you're relying on your contract partner to be playing, right? So like, for example, if you're contracted with me at my San Diego on Phat Empire, I'm a terrible contract partner here because I don't even play this airport that often. But if you're contracted with me on my main account at LHR or Washington, IAD, or BKK, you're gonna have a fantastic time. And by the way, everybody is open. I'm open for anybody to send me contract requests to my main account. My main account is the Fat Rican, and send them to my main airports: IAD, BKK, LHR, and right now I'm playing GRU every single day as well. So like those 4 airports, you can feel free to send me a contract request. It's free for everybody to send me a request. I got contract capacity, so I can accept your planes. Any tips for leveling up? Any tips for leveling up at Bari? Bari is tough, man, because like the main tip for leveling up is to handle larger planes, right? But you can't really handle too many larger planes. You don't have handling crew for it, and you don't have stands for it. So you really need to like make it up by doing a lot more medium planes and small planes. But don't forget about the cargo planes. Cargo planes make you a lot of money. Sorry, not a lot of money, a lot of XP. So there's 4 cargo stands there. You can, maybe get like 8 cargo contracts, in addition to the passenger contracts that you have, and that should help you level up a little bit faster too. What's up, Alfie? WOA should remodel C-17. Yeah, all the planes are going to get remodeled. So, I don't know how they prioritize like what their list looks like. Like, why was the CRJ like just updated? Like, if I were them, I would have updated the E190, the B463, the CRJ, and the AT76. Those would have been, or AT75. Those would have been the first 4 planes I would have updated in graphics, because those were the planes that were given away for free before. But at the same time, they also increase the price of the planes when they get updated. And they also introduce other plane models. Like for the CRJ, we got the CRJ2, we got the CRJ2F, CRJX, CRJ7. So They probably got some methods as far as why they do the remodels that they do. DJ wishes it was easier to monitor inactive player contracts. Yeah, I love hearing how other people do it. Right now, I don't really monitor for inactive contracts, but I know eventually I might want to do that. Especially if I start running into contract capacity issues, which, you know, should happen eventually. Should happen eventually. Fred asks, should I get the premium pass? In general, the answer is yes. I don't know what airport you're at though. I think you said Bari before, but I don't remember. So like, if the premium pass is 30 gold planes or less, for me, that's like an instant buy. Because the premium pass, you get airplanes for your fleet. So airplanes in your fleet give you more wallers, right? And if you have more wallers, then you can buy more stands. And then once you have all the stands, you have contract capacity and handling crew. So then you can handle more planes, and you can handle more planes at once. Then not only does the premium pass give you planes, they give you more contract capacity, they give you more handling crew, and handling crew by itself, you know, will cost you what, 45 gold planes for 5. And even in those airports that cost less than 45 gold planes to buy, you're getting more than 5 handling crew. So that's great. You get bonuses in silver planes. So sometimes you get like 5,000 extra silver planes. Sometimes it's only like 3,500, but hey, that's still pretty good. You also get like some liveries. And the wallers are cool in the early levels. They're not too exciting at the later levels. But yeah, you know, for the most part, I say yes. Now, one of these days, I'm definitely going to do like a tier list for premium passes, right? Because like, which premium pass should you unlock first? Which ones are S tier? Which ones are F, or actually D tier? I wouldn't put anything in F tier because you're still getting your money back. So there's always going to be value, but like Sydney is probably one of the last ones I would tell people to unlock. GRU is probably in the middle of the pack. BKK is probably somewhere up there, higher up. You know, IAD is probably in the middle, mainly because you can do fine without the premium pass there. You know, St. Martin is going to be higher up on my tier list because getting the premium pass at St. Martin really helps you with leveling up faster and getting the next airport sooner. So yeah, there's just, you know, some of my feedback there. So you can get the Beluga airplane in World of Airports in your fleet from the premium pass at Leipzig, but right now it cannot go to any playable airport. So you can have it in your fleet, but does not go to another player. Yeah, it's crazy how the stream's been an hour. I got 10 more minutes on my approach manager. I play on an iPad Pro 11-inch. All right, next up, we're going to go to LHR on this account. LHR on this account, we're pretty close to unlocking Sydney. And it's funny, too, because I'm close to unlocking Sydney on my free-to-play account as well. Granted, I do play my free-to-play account more frequently than I do my stream account. My stream-only account, I only play on streams. So I stream every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're not sure what time 11 a.m. Eastern is, you can go into World of Airports and look at the time for IAD, and that's the same time as what it is for me. Also, I know some of you guys are looking for contracts. Right now we're still working on this past week's Phat Airlines email contract newsletter. So I think Monday or Tuesday this week, I sent out an email. Excuse me. I sent out an email to all the people who are subscribed to phatairlines.com. Everybody who subscribed got an email. Oh, yeah, because some of you guys unsubscribed, and then you guys messaged me like, "Why am I not getting your emails?" Like, bro, you hit the unsubscribe button. Anyways, all you guys who subscribed to the phatairlines.com email newsletter got an email, because I'm giving away a CRJ-X this week from my Prague, which can go to LHR, Innsbruck, Bari. So anybody who's responding back with their username and what airport they wanted to is getting a contract. Now, I'm working on requests from April 10th, which is Thursday, because there's not an unlimited amount of stands at Prague, right? And then I'm waiting, like, for some of you guys, I'm waiting 1 or 2 days for you to accept the contract, even though I'm telling you that I sent you the request. So I do reply back, letting you know, hey, the request was sent. So please accept it as soon as you are able to. So I think what I have to do is, I think Hammy was having a similar problem, but we're gonna have to put a time limit. Right now, it's like I'm canceling the contract after 2 days of waiting, but for these smaller airports, I gotta do it a lot sooner, like 1 day maybe, or something like that. I don't know what we're gonna do, but you could sign up right now, phatairlines.com, and every week, or actually now it's more like every other week, so I'll have to update the website, but every other week we will send you out a plane contract email. All you gotta do is reply back, and you can get a free plane to your airport. It's free, completely free. It might cost me money, right? Because I gotta buy contract capacity. I gotta buy wallers if I don't have enough. Because like sometimes I'm getting like 120 responses back, which is amazing. That's 120 contracts, man. So keep it up, guys, and thank you for the engagement. Fog is leaving, yes, just as we're about to leave this airport as well. Ahmad says, should I buy Airbus or Boeing pass? You buy whichever one you prefer, man. They're both pretty even, I think, in my opinion. Why they haven't added Paris? There's so many European airports already. They're not going to be adding any European airports in the near future, man. A332 from LHR, nice. I knew the fog was going to clear as soon as you were about to leave. Yeah, that's how it always works, right? I mean, granted, it was like 8 a.m. at San Diego, so that's like the sun is just coming out. It gets kind of warm over there, so it would end up being foggy, like IRL. Well, I got a sponsorship offer from Roblox, by the way. That was pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Addy Aviation's doing a Discord giveaway. Nice. For 2 medium planes. Feel free to enter it when it's ready. Awesome. Thank you, Patty. So, yeah, if you guys don't know, on Phat Airlines Discord, ! Discord if you're not in a Discord already. But, on the Phat Airlines Discord, we have giveaways. VIPs can start giveaways, and it's free for everybody to enter a giveaway. Now, there are some giveaways that might be VIP only, But for the most part, free for everybody to sign up for a giveaway. It's another way to kind of maybe get another contract. Great for new players too, because you know sometimes you make a post on the contract board and you're waiting a couple days and still no responses or no requests. That's normal, guys. That is completely normal to have to wait a few days for a contract to come in. You know, planes aren't cheap. You know, just because I have 10 million wallers in my accounts doesn't mean that I'm going to spend all 10 million today to send people contracts, right? Because I have Concords, I have planes that I have to maintain, you know, so I need to make sure I have wallers that way they're not occupying stands. So I got to plan, I got to make sure I have that covered. And then not only that, but then you're also going to have to land a plane, configure the plane, and then set it up for somebody for them to send you the plane request. And then they're hoping and praying that you're going to accept that plane request as soon as possible. So giveaways are awesome because that player has that plane ready to send to you as soon as you win. So thank you, Patty, for doing that giveaway. Noodle, I didn't get a DM. Yeah, I have no DMs. They haven't added an airport in Africa yet. That's one of the things that World of Airports is focusing on. That's why, like, I wouldn't expect like Paris to be out soon, because they're focused on adding, I think, an airport from every like continent, so that way they can live up to their name. You know, World of Airports. Yo, Black Panther, thank you for the follow. And for the cheer. Nice. Yeah, I think ASB said I wish they would have added the Antonov pass, since they are all cargo planes. You know, I think this is like opening the door to like something pretty cool, right? So you have the Boeing pack and the Airbus pack, right? The Boeing pack, you get 10 planes. You get a 738, a 764, a 78X, and a 748. You get 4, 3, and 2, 1. Airbus pack, you get an A320, an A306, A335K, and an A388, right? For $20. Those airplanes, once you unlock it, or once you buy the pack, they become available under your fleet, under your offers. They become a plane that's on this list here, and you can claim it at any compatible airport. But once you claim it at that airport, you can't transfer it to another airport. So you're stuck at that airport. I think what I would like to see is like maybe like a special plane pack too, right? Because you said like you like to see an Antonov pass. That would be really cool. But like a special plane pack, right? Where you can get a Concorde, a DH-64, maybe a Beluga, maybe the A225, the Antonovs, right? Have a special plane pack for like $20 or something, where you get like one of each of those planes that you can claim at any airport. I think that would be really cool. That would certainly, I'd be throwing money at the screen for that, you know. But yeah, for AN12, that for an Antonov pass, that would make sense. But yeah, I mean, I think this is, I wonder if this is only because they're officially licensed from Boeing and Airbus. But I also think there's an opportunity that they can add additional packs. And it's not like they're trying to be greedy either, because once you buy these packs, you have a 30-day cooldown. So it's not like you can just keep buying them over and over again. Which they could have allowed us to do that, right? They could have just said, hey, just keep spending $20 and build up your fleet. But no, they made a choice to add a 30-day cooldown for these purchases, which is pretty interesting, right? When I think about it, I think it's pretty interesting because that's a choice they made to make sure that people, well, the way I look at it is people can't buy an entire fleet. Like they can't buy completion. Push back. All right, so we are going to be done with this airport for today. It was nice to be here. So sorry it's foggy. Hopefully it's not foggy at LHR. And we will come back another day to San Diego. Yo, what's up, Pause Aviation? Oops. You're playing WOA in real life. The flight next to you is going to Leipzig. That's funny. All right, we're going to go to LHR now. Let me check my airports. Oh, Prague has one arrival, so I'm going to just quickly go to Prague to accept that special arrival, but I'm not going to play Prague. Sorry. I'm going to go back. Cool thing with special arrivals is that you don't have to, like, you have to accept the contract during that time frame that it's available, but you don't have to handle it within that same time frame. So you have a lot of, like, you don't have to, all you gotta do is just log in once a day, check out those special arrivals, and then you should be good to go. Yeah, now it's impossible. Well, I don't know how it's going to be possible for me to tell if any of these planes are renewals. You know, in the past, I could heart the plane after the plane was completed, and I would see the heart on the screen. But now, there's nowhere that it tells me if it was like a repeat. The contract total is 0, right? All of these are 0. All these planes are contract total 0. I think Southwest might be a renewal, but I'm not sure. Yeah, there's no way for me to know if this is a renewal or not. I'm trying to look. Do you guys know anything? Maybe I just got to keep track of call signs going forward. More work. All right. So, ATC here at LHR. LHR, it's a beautiful day. Look at this. ATC at LHR. So, ATC at LHR is a little bit different, right? Because you have, let me look at the 2D map. You have, you know, the landing runway right down here. And then you have the departure runway over here. So, you know, I still recommend turning on the approach manager. That's still going to be important. If you're not rich in silver planes, keep it at the lowest speed setting, and then activate it for as long as you think you're going to be playing the airport. And at LHR, approach departure ratio does not matter. So we're going to activate it for an hour and a half. And then over here, you'll see I'm preferring favorite airplanes, and it's also, I have the arrival sequence turned on. I'm actually going to turn off the arrival sequence. That's a favorite plane, so that's landing first. Because what I want is, I want planes that I'm assigning to land first, right? So we're going to manually assign planes. Now, next thing I'm going to do at LHR later on is I'm going to keep an eye on when these planes start pushing back, right? Because when these planes, especially on this side of the runway, you know, these passenger planes or these cargo planes, once they start pushing back, they're going to need to cross the runway. So it's the ground manager manages pushbacks and runway crossings, right? So I might, if this section over here gets so busy and everything gets backed up here, then I might turn on the ground manager. Same thing over here. If there's too many departures going out, where it starts to block like planes from crossing the runway over here or crossing over here, or God forbid over here, then I'll activate the departure manager. But I'm not going to activate it right away. I always wait until it's like necessary to activate. So patience, that's what I do. I practice patience with my tower managers when I don't have a ton of silver planes. When I have a ton of silver planes, I go into tower manager. Oh man, I go into the tower manager and I activate. When I have a ton, I put them all on high. I activate them all for how long I think I'm going to play, and I don't worry about it. I do go back in here and actively, you know, change these settings so that way I'm getting the landings how I want them to be. Maybe we could talk a little bit more about like those landings, but I think it's a little self-explanatory. Maybe, I don't know. I'll see you later, duck. ASB mix it. That would be really cool to see a special plane pack. I think so too, man. would be worth the buy. Yeah, it would probably be more expensive than $20, I think, but who knows, really, right? Who knows? We're just speculating over here. Okay, let's filter hearted planes. Here we go. Oh, so all of my planes are hearted, right? So that's funny. You don't really need to heart all of your planes anymore either. Any more Concords? I feel like we had more Concords than that. Here's another one. Yep, here's Hammy. Good. Another one. Good. From Red Concord. Nice. Hope they're doing good. I haven't heard from them, but I know they're not a daily player. So life might get busy, right? Life can get busy sometimes. Look at that CRJ2. And then what I like to do, I always heart the planes that are like close to completion. So look at how easy it is to find all these planes that are like practically finished. This one's not done, but so I'm going to unheart it. But like all these planes are practically finished. I'm going to get like a good amount of XP from these planes today. Back on this. Handle. Oh no, Mike, you're waiting for a D-plane contract renewal, waiting to be accepted. Is it from me? I hope it's not from me. Yeah, they did remove plane favorite plane from plane requests. That is kind of crazy. I think it's just something that they don't, how to put it. Like, I wouldn't even have known it was a thing if it weren't for you guys. You know, you guys were the ones who told me that that was a possibility, that we could favorite planes after it pushed back, and then that would allow us to see it be favorited when the request came back. So I didn't even know that was a thing. WOA really want us to be pay to win? I disagree with you, Dryan. But why do you think WOA wants us to be pay to win? You know, what I was saying before about these packs. They really wanted you to be pay to win? Cooldown for these packs would not be 30 days. They would not be 30 days. They would be 1 day, 7 days, not 30 days. If they really wanted to make this pay to win, you could buy this every single day, then yeah, I would agree with you. But 30 days is a long time. Not only that, but they also let you get gold planes for free. Gold planes is literally the same exact currency as what people buy. So, yeah, I want to know, because of money? Oh man, I get it, but like I disagree, bro. Just because they're asking for money doesn't mean it's pay to win. You know, it costs money to run a game. It costs money for developers. It costs money for servers. They need money to survive. And this is one of the least predatory game, free game that I've played in a very long time. You know, all the other games that are free will constantly remind you that you can buy this, you can buy that, you can upgrade this, you can upgrade that. In my free-to-play account, there's not once have I gotten a pop-up saying that I should buy gold planes. Not once have I gotten any pop-up saying buy some gold planes today. You know, all of my alerts is because I don't have enough wallers, right? Or I don't have enough silver planes to buy something. Then I get that, like, hey, you can still buy this with gold planes, but that's just offering a solution. It's not, and the ads on this game aren't forced. You know, I've played some of these other mobile games, and they will literally force you into an advertisement, you know, every like 5 minutes. We're not watching ads when we're playing this game, unless you want to. And there's not even a ton of moments for you to watch ads if you really wanted to. So I don't think this game is really pay to win at all. Yeah, you can benefit from paying, but the way I look at that is you're really helping support development of the game more than it is pay to win. Because even all the things that you can buy with your gold planes have a cooldown. Well, there's no cooldown for buying wallers, so there's no cooldown there. There's no cooldown for buying silver planes. But if you were to buy handling crew, the handling crew has a 24-hour cooldown for gold planes. So if you buy 45 or 5 handling crew for 45 gold planes, you gotta wait another 24 hours before you can buy more. Not pay to win. You can't just keep clicking this and buy it over. Ooh. You can't just keep clicking it and buying it over and over again. You got contract capacity. You know, contract capacity, same thing. 24-hour cooldown. You can't just keep buying it over and over again to pay to win. There's so many decisions in this game, in my opinion, that make it pretty obvious to me, at least, that they are very thoughtful with how paying for the game doesn't overly benefit somebody who spends a lot of money. Granted, yes, if you play every single day and you're buying, you know, handling crew every single day, yes, you're gonna have a huge advantage over somebody who can't. But you're also paying 45 gold planes, and 45 gold planes is how much? I just spent $15. Feels bad. Do I hate ads? I hate forced ads. I really hate forced ads, especially like if it's something that I'm paying for. So like, I hate cable TV because I pay for cable TV and they show me ads. I hate Netflix with ads. I hate Hulu with ads because I'm paying for the service and then they're forcing ads on me. I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't have to. I'm not forced to watch ads. So I hate forced ads. Yeah. You know, if I'm playing a game and an ad pops up, I'm more understanding if it's a free game, but if it's a paid game, that really gets me upset. Imagine you're handling planes and get interrupted by ads. MD11 said, compared to other mobile games, WoA is very generous. Play Clash Royale, and you'll see what I mean. I agree, man. Yep. Alfie says, should I buy 10 B planes or 1 F plane? I would probably go with the 1 F. Because like those 10 B planes are taking a lot of contract capacity. This plane gets hearted now too. Look at that. 8 out of 10. TJ said, that's true. TJ said, even the ads have cooldowns in World of Airports. That is true too. I didn't think about that. They could just like, yeah, some other games, right? They'll let you watch like 10 ads in a row if you want to. Not World of Airports. MD11 said there's this one Microsoft and that has been driving me mad. If ads don't exist, would be happy, bro. I have a business that runs on that is making ads, but it's forced ads is where I have a problem. Or when you're paying for the product and then you're still getting ads. If you're not paying for something, then you can't really be upset about getting advertisements because there's costs to running things, right? So like for example, public television in the US, right? Like ABC, NBC, like those channels that you used to be able to get with just like an antenna. Fine. Those TV channels, I get it. Have ads. Like the other TV channels or like Netflix and Hulu, you're paying $15 a month to Netflix and they want to show you ads? Get out of here, man. I'm paying for this. And I know my friends, a lot of my friends are on the same page as me, because like we've canceled Netflix and Amazon and Hulu because of like their ad policies. The Neb said randomly popped ads are worse than ads for rewards. Oh my gosh, yeah. Especially like as you're about to click on something, then the ad pops up, and then all of a sudden you clicked on the ad, right? It's like, yo, they got me good. North Redline say, wait, aren't you online? Do on Twitch? That's probably a typo, right, bro? Yeah, we're multi-streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. So you can pick whichever platform you prefer. I think Twitch is a little bit more interactive, more fun. But I know some people don't have access to Twitch. And YouTube and Twitch updated their policies like a year ago almost, that allowed for multi-streaming. Because like before, I think Twitch wouldn't allow for it. Like it was technically against the rules. People did it anyways, but I like following the rules because I don't want to lose my accounts. So, you know, the main difference that you'll see on the Twitch stream and YouTube stream is YouTube stream, you only see YouTube chat. Twitch stream, you only see Twitch chat. But I'm talking to both of you guys at the same time, so it might be a little confusing for some of you guys who, especially since I don't mention it all the time. But also, sometimes I'm also like 10 minutes behind in chat. But yeah, you just have to have different chats on the screen. You have different events happening on screen. So you pick wherever you want to be, man. Oh, Mike, nice. You really get ads when you're at home because your pie hole blocks most of them. That's good, man. I need to put like an ad blocker on my router. It's not a bad idea. Only problem is sometimes like when I do that, sometimes some like websites stop working properly. But I'll figure that. Ads is such a nightmare. Yeah. You guys get ads on Twitch, man. But hey, the stream is free and it's forced ads. Now, if you guys had to pay to be here for the stream, and I put ads on you, then you guys have the right to be upset at me. But that's why on Twitch, if you become a Twitch subscriber, which means like you're paying like the monthly subscription, you don't get any ads. So I have that turned off. YouTube doesn't give me that option to like give that to members. YouTube, they just have YouTube Premium, which I do get like a portion of that revenue if you're a YouTube Premium subscriber and you're watching the stream and you don't get ads, then yeah. But on Twitch, if you're a subscriber on Twitch, which means that you're paying monthly or somebody gifted it to you, you don't get ads. So I'm still living by my own rules, right? Also, once you're like big enough on Twitch, Twitch forces ads. Like if you're a small streamer, they don't force ads, but then once you hit like a certain threshold, then they start forcing ads anyways. So it's you have an extension that stops ads on Twitch. Nice. I know some people who are like from different countries also don't get ads because there's no ads in their country, right? So That could be another thing. You could like even just change your VP if you have a VPN to be from a different country. That could help you not get ads. Uzbekistan. Nice to meet you, man. Taily cylinder WOA. Which terminal should I unlock first in Sao Paulo? I would do the terminal 1, which is like I think if you keep the 2D map in the same angle, it's at the top of the airport. And I recommend that one because that's where the combination stands are. So you have like an F stand over there, I think like 2 or 3 of them, and you have some C stands that are combo stands. And what combo stands are, they are stands that can handle both passenger and cargo planes. Or they might be called shared stands. I forget what the official name is. It's so new. I'll have to get used to the correct name. But those stands, you can handle both a cargo plane and a passenger plane. So that's super helpful when you're like new in the airport, because now you don't have to worry about unlocking an F cargo stand and then an F passenger stand. You just have one stand that can do both. Now, as you continue leveling up and you get more contracts, then you're going to have to like do separate stands, because you're going to have more contracts than you can handle with just the shared stand. But that terminal is I think the best one to unlock first. Do I want to learn Russian? Bro, I need to reach out to like these language softwares, like, Duolingo, Rosetta Stone, all the other ones. I need to reach out to them to sponsor me, because I know we got an international audience here, and if they sponsored me, we could learn other languages. I would start with Spanish, and then I would go on to other languages based on your guys' vote. Are you living next to the New York, like you live in New Jersey? Yeah, I live in New Jersey. Hammer Mike said, I sent you a PM on Discord. I don't usually look at Discord while I'm streaming. Asked how you were able to see stand info from tower view. Well, I don't know what you mean by tower view. If you're in here, you can't see stand info, right? This doesn't have that available. But if you're in these different points of view, you can just click on right here, the construction menu, and you can see what stands are available. Any of these camera angles, except for plane spotting cameras and passenger terminals, those don't have the UI. But any of the other cameras that have the regular UI, you just hit this icon right down here, and you can see what's going on for the stands. Hi, how are you in Russian is hi, how are you? Oh, thank you, man. What's the best airport? You hear BKK, but I check LHR and IAD good, so I'm not sure. I mean, best is really subjective, right? There's not like a rule that says there's one best airport. It's like, what do you want from an airport? Do you want like short taxi times? Do you want more player contracts? Do you want quick player contracts? Do you want to just level up fast? Like what does best mean to you for an airport? For me, best for me means I can have more contracts and more players playing with me. So that's why I like IAD, LHR, and BKK, because all 3 of those airports have a large amount of stands. So you get a lot of contract capacity right off the bat. And all 3 of those airports can handle a lot of larger planes. And then they also have a good variety of airports that can send airplanes to that airport. So that's why I pick those 3 airports as my best airports. But like some people really like a small airport where they don't have to feel pressure to to play every single day. They don't have to feel pressure to be quick, and they just want to like chill and relax. In which case, St. Martin and Bari could be really great airports for you. There's a lot of different ways people play the game. It's Noodle. I saw him earlier in the chat, but I know they started playing St. Martin and they're just like chilling. They're relaxing. They're enjoying it. I can't play St. Martin because I like playing with other players, and St. Martin only has like a few stands. There's not like a ton of stands, so I can't handle 90 planes at once like I can at LHR, So for me, that's not the best. But for somebody who wants to chill, relax, and wind down to play WOA, St. Martin is the best. So it's about what you want, what the best means for you. Because there's a lot of people play World Airports differently. Also, I didn't even think about this till just now. But for some people, the best airport could be the one that has the most amount of non-player liveries. Which ones can get the most variety of airplanes from around the world. Because some people don't even play with other players. They just want to look for all the liveries, fill out the Royalpedia, and succeed that way. So a lot of different reasons people play, and a lot of different reasons the best could be the best. Aren't shared stands good? Yeah, I think they're great, man. I think they're great, especially in the beginning of an airport. Now, as the airport starts leveling up, it might get a little annoying because right now with the tower managers especially, you can't disable a stand for you can't say, hey, don't use this stand for cargo or don't use this stand for passenger planes. So that might get annoying at the later levels, but in the later levels too, you're going to have a lot more stands available anyways. So is it really going to matter? Probably not. I'm not familiar with Singapore Changi Airport, but it sounds like it would be cool if you think it's going to be beautiful. Yo, what's up, February? Yeah, long time no see, man. Came back for 3.0, huh? I'm really enjoying 3.0, guys. It saved me so much time already. Not having to app on every single plane or every single crew that needs to be assigned. Really, really love it. ASB says best airport means what airport worked out the most or gave the most for a player. Yeah, so in that case, IAD is probably the best because it's you unlock it so early on, right? And it's the first airport that you can really succeed at building a fleet, right? Because if you get if you get E or F planes into your fleet at that airport, you're really going to make a lot of silver planes. Even if they're not in your fleet and you're just getting other players' planes coming in, you're really going to start getting a lot of silver planes. So that's when I started seeing a huge amount of growth in my silver planes, or just in my airport, in my gaming, and how fast I was able to unlock things once I got IAD. You hate getting Austrian Q400 contracts. So what I end up doing with those contracts is I accept these contracts once, and then I cancel it after one handling. It's free, it's a free local contract. What's up, Tanmay? Yo, Noodle's gonna buy the Concorde within the next week? Let's go, man. Oh yeah, Noodle, you can send me your contract request if you like. I will be on, yeah, I should be on GRU after the stream's over, so that'd be no problem. Brian said, "Fat, what do you recommend that Easter egg from Jerry? You have to be a parrot." That would be cool. That's what they used in their promo, right? In their marketing video. That parrot. That would be pretty cool. Mert with another completed contract here. Let's go. Thank you, Mert. Mert's always a great contract partner. Thank you, bro. Deleted Twitch and WOA, returned 3 hours after new phone and start back from in. I decided to take another path by buying an airport. That might make sense, you know. Make sure you link your account to like Google Play or to Apple Game Center. That way, next time you change your phone, you don't lose your account. If your player name is player followed by a bunch of numbers, you probably have a local account, which is just tied to your device. You're still able to play online, but if you lose your device or you change your device or you upgrade, then they're not your account's not going to transfer. But yeah, good luck with that, man. I'm sorry to hear. Ron said, a question, I don't really think there's another way to level up quickly, understand finishing contracts, right? Yeah, I mean, that's the main way to get XP. You can also play the parking minigame, which is probably more beneficial in the early levels. You can play the parking minigame. Do I have a plane that's landing? All right, so we have this plane right here, right? You can click on this controller icon, which brings up the mini games menu, and you can turn on the parking mini game, which will give you XP if you get 100% success. Also, if it's like 0 Celsius or colder, then you can do de-icing as well for XP. You only get 1 XP, so it's like super useful in the early levels, but these later levels, when I gotta get 1000 XP for the level, you know, 1 XP doesn't really feel even worth my time. I just do contracts at that point. So yeah, mainly contracts for sure. What's the best C or D planes for your fleet? I haven't really thought about that. Like A21NX might be good because it's a C plane, right? So you get to use the C stands. And it has like long range. E140 is still pretty good because it's like super cheap, both in gold planes and in Wallers. What else have we got? I don't know what else. The B38M might be good because it's a seaplane, has some range, and it's also not incredibly expensive in gold planes right now. Yeah, you got a few options. It reminded you of the Rio movie. I've only seen the Rio movie in bits and pieces. I've never seen it like from start to finish. Oh, what's up, Cookie Cooker? Nice to see you, bro. And TK, nice to see you as well. I may say, I have seen many people spam close M contracts to level up too. Yeah. It depends on how much you want to play, right? For me, I don't want to be stuck at one airport for like 5 hours, you know? And if you're spamming local or very close, you know, M plane contracts, which are now C planes, if you're spamming a lot of C plane contracts, then you're going to be stuck at that airport for a very long time. Me, I like to handle my planes, then go to the next airport. You know? So like, for example, if this was like my main account, I had 197 planes here, that would take me probably like 4 hours to handle. But then after I'm done with all of them, I would quickly switch over to the next airport, play that airport for a couple hours, then go to the next one and keep switching until I hit them all. What airport should you get? LHR, BKK, or IAD? I'd probably go with LHR, because LHR, after LHR you unlock Sydney, and then you unlock BKK, then you unlock MSY, and then GRU. So you have a good amount of airports to unlock afterwards, including BKK, which is only like 2 airports away. And then you can still play Innsbruck to unlock IAD. IAD, I don't think it's worth 20 gold planes when you can just play Bari and Prague, well, Innsbruck, Bari, and Prague to unlock it. Like, Innsbruck, Bari, and Prague are slow in the beginning, but like you can quickly, if you have player contracts, players sending you contracts, you can get through it pretty quick. What's up, little Snowyak? Jacob Plays wants some planes to their LHR. Why is DH-64 expensive? It's like one of those planes that, like, it doesn't even make sense economically to have. It's like, it's one of those planes that you have in your fleet because you need to waste money. You have too much money and you need to waste some of it. So I'm going to buy a Concorde or a DH-64. These runway lights are pretty cool, actually. ASB says, I recently started a new account for a free-to-play account. Instead of buying the airports, and you realize you gotta meet your worst enemy, St. Martin, again soon. Well, I wonder if St. Martin is better now that they also have those shared stands, right? So St. Martin also has shared stands where, like, those medium cargo stands, like there was 2 cargo stands, right? Those cargo stands are now shared stands, so you can actually have passengers in those stands, passenger planes in those stands. So that could be very helpful with handling more planes at once, because like there's not a lot of cargo planes that can come from other players, or that can come, like you're not going to get a lot of cargo planes to St. Martin. So opening up those 2 gates, which were pretty much empty my entire time playing St. Martin, can really help at least get more planes on the ground so you can handle more at once. So it might be a little bit easier now. I mean, not by a lot. It's only like 2 stands, right? But still, every little bit helps. Hanmei is grinding Prague. What airport's the slowest to level up? St. Martin, for sure. But I wonder if St. Martin is actually the slowest, or if it's like just feels slow because like it's a small airport that's like squished between a lot of large airports. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have what's before St. Martin? You have Leipzig. Right. You go from Washington to Nagoya to San Diego to Muscat to Leipzig. So you go from Muscat and Leipzig, and then all of a sudden you're at St. Martin. Like now you're down to like a small airport, like a tiny airport, almost like an Innsbruck or Bari or maybe San Diego. San Diego is a little bit bigger, but it's kind of similar in a lot of ways. So you get squished between, like you have 2 big airports with Muscat and Leipzig, and then you go down to this tiny airport at St. Martin. So that's rough. And then after St. Martin, you get back to another big airport, LHR. So it's like right in between 2 large or multiple large airports, which probably makes it feel harder than it actually is, because we've gotten so used to just playing, the large airports. I would say Bari could also be one of the toughest airports, the slowest airport, because like, especially if you're a newer player, you don't really know what the best strategies are. So you can really get messed up with that. Noodles, you have 30 million wallers in Nagoya. Nice. What's up, Dinju? Ben's telling you to go BKK. Interesting. You know, I say LHR because you can just level up LHR and get BKK eventually. You can't, like, if you level up BKK all the way, you're never gonna get LHR. Do you know? You know what I'm saying? But I understand sometimes you just don't want to play the game, right? You just want to unlock the next airport. Everybody said update 3.0 is great, but you found some bugs like the ICAO size really annoys. The 752 is D type, and you have to share with E and F type, which annoyed me. Yeah, in some airports, it might be a good idea to like start selling off your D planes. I know at IAD I sold a few of my 752s. At Prague, I sold a few of my 752s. Nagoya, I'm thinking about selling my 752s there. I haven't sold them yet. But yeah, there's a few airports where it's like you just don't have like you don't have the stands to make it like worth my while to like, rather have those larger planes at those stands. San Diego, at least there are some D stands that weren't there before, right? So there are some D stands you can get that are outside of where the L and X stands are. So that's you don't have to necessarily cancel your passenger D planes, but your cargo D plane, your cargo 752F, sell them. Yep. What's up, Andy Guarino? St. Martin's the only airport where A stands have a purpose other than increasing handling crew and contract capacity. That's true, especially as arrivals, right? You can get a random arrival for A stands. That's true. You can always buy a DH. What is it? A DC6. What? I don't even have it unlocked. A DHC6, which is an A plane. So you can always buy one. But yeah, you're right. I've been using just the A class stands to buy for capacity reasons. No other reason than that. Yo, what's up, Nayo Amaroto? Greetings from Belgium. Nice. Noodle said, time for 2 hours of tower managers to land planes during dinner. So, what this, enjoy your dinner. For that, like, if I'm going for dinner, I'd probably, well, it depends on how rich I am in silver planes, right? But if I'm really trying to, like, be aware of how many silver planes I have and, like, be safe, I would probably just turn on the departure manager and the ground manager. And depending upon the airport, I might do the departure manager. And if you're handling planes, because I know what I'll do is I'll start handling planes. That way I have crew working, and then I'll turn on these managers, step away. That way they can continue to be handled. Level 73 or 74. Let's go. Oh, so close. 10 more minutes. Let's see if I can get. Right, if I get the 10,000 silver planes, then that means I got 10,000 silver planes in one day. That would be amazing. Ah, ASB Mix. I like how people were so happy for St. Martin to come to World of Airports, and now it's here everyone has PTSD from it. That's funny. Why IAD time is different like San Diego airport? Because the time zones, man. IAD is on the east coast of the United States, and San Diego is on the west coast. And there's literally a 3 hour difference in time there. $752 Prime was 3 years ago. Yeah, yeah. Yep. This is how they kill the 752. Just like in real life. It's gonna be really rare to see nowadays, I think. Tanmay thinks though the 757 might get a buff from the remodel. So we'll see. I guess that's possible. Lewis, you're playing LHR while watching this? Nice. I'm at LHR too. Yo, Tanmay level 61 at Prague. Nice. What level at Prague get the beat to unlock IAD? Sanjay said, "What's the best way to grind silver planes?" In my opinion, it's to play with other players. But you want to play with players who like actively play. You don't want to play with people who play once every 3 days or something like that. But if people don't know you, it's going to be hard to get a lot of people who are willing to send you, those contracts, right? People need to get to know you and then trust you and know that you're going to be handling their planes. There's a lot of great players out there, and some of them are very particular about who gets their contracts. So you just gotta get player contracts. Join the Phat Airlines Discord because we have plane contract giveaways. Make a contract board post on the Discord, and then if you want guaranteed player contracts, every other week I send out an email, so you can join my email newsletter at phatairlines.com. And I have a newsletter that I send out. It's supposed to be weekly, but realistically it's every other week, because some of these planes take a long time to send to people, or people to accept, I should say. But what else? We have that Phat Airlines newsletter where every other week I have a plane that is available. That I send to everybody who replies back to the email with their username and what airport they want it to, as long as it's one of the listed airports it can go to. So there's a lot of ways you can get player contracts. I try to make it easy for both new and experienced players to get contracts, because I know how it is as a new player. Nobody wants to do a contract with you because they don't know who you are, and then eventually over time you no longer become this unknown player, and then you have no problem finding contracts. Yo, what's up, Kamikaze? Oh my god, Sammy, I'm so sorry, bro. 43 minutes ago you redeemed the S-Plane contract and I didn't even see it. It's a cool livery too. Look at that. The black and gold. I love that. Twill says, I don't trust anyone. I know, right? So, if you're a new player and you're trying to get contracts too, it could help you a lot by communicating with your partners. Let them know, hey, I'm going to be traveling for a few days. Once you start getting a reputation though, as a reliable partner, then it's required less for you to update everybody about what's happening. Because there's some players who I know play every single day, and if they're not playing every single day, then I know it's because something's happening in their life that they just don't have time to play, right? So it's I'm not worried about that. But then there's other players who I don't know if they play every day. I don't know who they are, and I don't want, like, they might have just randomly quit, right? Am I ever gonna see my plane again? Who knows? Eventually, though, I'm going to be looking at my keeping tabs on how long my planes are staying away from me. Hockey fan said, if you know you're only playing for 30 minutes and just do 30. Yep. Yeah, it's rough, Noodle, losing 50K in silver planes because you're activating 2 hours max. That's one thing we're talking about here, is like you kind of have to look at how many. Well, I actually didn't talk about this part. So like, one other thing too is, as you like start to learn the airports, you start to learn how long you need in order to handle all the planes. So what I like to look at is how many arriving planes I have, right? So up here on the top right, under the filters, I have 182 planes waiting to land. So typically, the way I like, after playing LHR for 74 levels plus another 76 levels on my free account, plus an 80 something levels on my main account, I know that at LHR my estimate is about 1 minute I need to give for each of these planes. So if I have 181 planes and I wanted to land all of them, I would need 181 minutes. That's the way I estimate it here at LHR. So 180 minutes is what? 3 hours. So if I wanted to make sure, like, handle all of those planes, I would set the tower managers for 3 hours. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes a little bit shorter, right? Because it depends on traffic. That's one thing. If you have so many planes departing and you're not using the departing manager, eventually, this queue over here can get so long that it'll block some of these planes from getting to their stand. I've had that happen. You can have this queue over here get so long, and you can accidentally have planes crossing the runway, and then you can have no planes on the runway. So you have to wait for all the planes to depart. So there's a lot of things you got to keep in mind when it comes to that. But typically 1 minute for every arrival is a solid plan for me, and it really gets. That's what works. In a lot of other airports, I typically do that a 1 minute as well. But I also I round down, right? So if I have 100 planes to land, instead of doing 100 minutes, I'll just do 60 minutes, right? And then I'll keep an eye out to see how it's looking, and then I'll keep tabs of that. But I played so much LHR that I know it's 1 minute per, at least for the way I play, it's 1 minute per plane that needs arrival. They need to remodel the 748. Yeah, I wonder when we'll see that though. That's the real question. We know all the planes are going to get remodeled. Like that's going to happen. The question is when, right? And we're not going to know the answer to the when. But what we will know, what we do know is when the 748 gets remodeled, the price will go up. So if you're interested in getting that, you want to definitely get that ASAP, because the price is probably going to double, right? That's what's happened before. Guys, we got almost 10,000 silver planes in one stream, which is kind of amazing. We played San Diego, we played LHR, and with the 10,000 silver planes, we're able to trade that in for 10 gold planes. So I can't stress this enough, because this is super important. But every single player who plays World of Airports, you should be saving up your silver planes to buy the 10 gold airplanes. All right. I know it's super tempting to want to buy the one for 1,500, because 1,500 is so much faster to get than 10,000, but you're getting 10 gold planes versus one. So every single player, save up for 10,000 and make this purchase for 10 gold planes. Always do this. Always. take our tips that we shared earlier today about the ATC. Use the ATC, use maybe just the approach manager, so that way you're spending only 35 or not so much silver planes on the tower manager, but you want to get these 10 gold planes, because that's really, gold planes is how you unlock everything in the game, especially the stuff that you can't get for free. There's quite a few things you can get for free in World of Airports, but gold planes is the exact currency that people use to buy with their real life money. So if you're spending real life money, you're getting gold planes, and here you are in a game spending money, like spending silver planes, which is just money or currency you get for playing the game, and trading it for the same stuff that people trade their real money for. So definitely do that. The only time you really should be doing the one gold plane trade in is when you're like at like 20, maybe 30,000 silver planes or more. Then you might want to start considering buying the one gold plane every single day. But the 10 gold planes every single week, that one you should be doing as soon as possible, as often as possible. Thank you, Dan in Vermont, for the reminder about 10,000 silver planes. Hockey fans say, hopefully I'm considered reliable. Yeah, I see your planes a lot, man. That's just one thing I like is, I get to see people's planes, which kind of just tell me like, hey, you're here, you're playing, you're and having a good time, you're gaming. It's nice to see. I may not always like acknowledge it, but like I still enjoy seeing that people are playing. Like there's a couple of people who I'm not seeing in chat recently, but they're still playing World of Airports. So I'm like, cool. They might be too busy to jump into chat right now. That's fine. But they're still playing World of Airports. And then there's some people who are just like completely missing in action right now, but they used to play daily. So I'm a little, worried about them. They're on my mind, hoping that everything's okay, off, and then might have to turn on the departure manager. I think I will. So the reason why I'm turning on the departure manager here is because I am not paying enough attention to the departure queue. Now you could sit here and pay attention to it and just make that your main priority, but that's not what I want to do. I want to focus on assigning planes to stands and handling the planes. There is no tower manager that can begin handling your planes for you. So that's like the number one thing, in my opinion, you have to do in World of Airports. But there are tower managers who can land planes and who can, have the planes depart. And what's starting to happen here is we're getting all these planes over here that are crossing the runway because they're cargo planes and they're done handling. So they're going to have to cross the runway and then they're going to queue up right over here. So what's going to happen is we got like four more planes maybe that have to go over there as well. So this is going to start to get backed up, and then that could cause a jam on my landing runway, which is the worst thing that can happen because we need planes on the ground to handle. That's our goal in World of Airports, is to have planes on the ground, even though I know in real life the goal is to have the planes in the sky as long as possible. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I turned on the departure manager. I can do pushbacks and crossing of the runways. I just have to be aware because we have this DH-8D which is going to its stand and it's being blocked by these planes that need to cross the runway. So just giving you some insight onto how and why I'm activating the manager now versus I didn't activate it before. You thought that 99% of playing games were scams? That's funny. Do I play Roblox? Nah, but I got a sponsorship offer from Roblox. But I don't think I'm gonna do the sponsorship opportunity from Roblox. I was thinking about it, but a lot of the sponsorship requirements require you guys to make a purchase on Roblox, and you guys already are complaining about buying gold planes, and we're here to play World of Airports, so you guys won't even support the game that we play and buying gold planes. Then how am I gonna do a sponsorship for Roblox and ask you guys to buy things from Roblox to help benefit, the sponsorship? It doesn't make sense to me. So no, I haven't played Roblox. I've seen other people play it, but I haven't played it. ASB said that's a lot of departers. Yeah. You want an E-plane to GRU? I'm not really sending a lot of E-planes right now. Really what I'm doing right now is just handling planes. There's every once in a while, like when I'm wrapping up my evening, then I'll land a bunch of new planes and get some contracts sent out. I look at the Phat Airlines contract board to see who's looking for planes at what airport. There's a lot of requests right now for GRU though. So like if you're playing a different airport than GRU, you actually might have a better time right now trying to find a contract partner, because there's so many people looking for GRU that like your post might stand out, because if you're looking for like a contract to Prague, like a lot of people who are looking for that. Do I have all the stands in LHR? I think I have I have all the stands, yeah, but like not all of them are fully like upgraded. A lot of it has to do with actually, yeah, I just like some of these stands I bought before 3.0 as medium. Like this stand over here is what comes unlocked with the airport 307 and 305, and those come unlocked as small, so I just left them that way. Because before it didn't make sense to have multi-gates. Now every gate is a multi-gate, right? So yeah, before it made no sense to have multi-gates. Now you have to have multi-gates, so it's a different approach. My thoughts on the Boeing and Airbus packs. So yeah, the Boeing pack, right? You get 10 airplanes. You get the 748. You get 2 78Xs, 3 764s, and 4 738s. Same thing with the Airbus packs, just Airbus planes. You got an A380, 2 A335Ks, 3 A306s, and 4 A320s. So I think the planes are pretty solid that you get. And it's $20. So at first, I had a hard time thinking about the $20, but then I think Amit Mert K was like, but like you don't have to spend wallers on any of these planes. So like think about trying to get the A388, right? And if you don't have wallers in your airport, even if you do, but if you want to buy the A388, that's like almost 500,000 wallers that you need, like 400 something, 460 I think it is or something. That's 50 gold planes, right? 50 gold planes for wallers. And how much are 50 gold planes? It's $15. That's just for one plane, all right? And then not only that, you also get the livery, the unique livery for that plane for Airbus, and a unique livery for Boeing for the Boeing planes. So that's pretty cool as well. So I like these packs. I had to think about it a little bit and think about it more logically and like, what the benefits are. But really could a good pack. It's $20, so that's a little hard to swallow. But when you look at the prices, compare it to prices of everything else, and if you were to do it on your own, it's a great value. I would love to see like a special plane pack as well. I think that would be awesome to see in the future, where we could get like a Concorde, an A225, an A124. I think that would be awesome. And then one thing I forgot to mention just now is that these packs also have a 30-day cooldown. So it's not like they're trying to be like the developers are trying to be greedy or anything, and it's not pay to win, because you can only buy each of these packages. So you can spend $40 today, but you can't spend $40 tomorrow. You have to wait another 30 days before you can get another pack. I don't know what happens after 30 days. Like, we'll have to find out in like 21 days. But I think they're pretty cool. Good value for what you get. You don't unlock the planes, so like they're not unlocked in your fleet. But if you're looking for some fleet planes right now, really great, because you don't have to spend the wallers for it, and you get those planes, and you get the special livery, which is unique to that pack alone. The pack gives you contracts? Nah, man. It gives you fleet planes. These are planes in your fleet. They gave you contract planes, I would be very upset. Yeah, I have an A388 from the Airbus pack that I have in my fleet. I redeemed it at my GRU actually, and I did a giveaway on the Phat Airlines Discord server. Once that contract is done, I'm going to do another giveaway for that A388. So that one's going to be a non-renewing contract, because it's so it's one of a kind, right? I can't just buy another one, because that livery I can't apply to any of my other planes. It's specific to that one airplane. So yeah, that giveaway is going to be just rotating among people. And if my contract partner takes too long, then I told them I'm going to cancel it, you know. So we'll see what happens. See you later, Tanmay. I feel like new players that bought gold planes and got GRU are probably better than most players, since they started playing when combined stands were added, A through D stands. I guess. I mean, GRU is such a hard airport if you're a brand new player. There's so many blocked stands. You got shared stands. You got all the different airplane sizes. I don't know if I would recommend GRU to be the airport that new players play at, but I think I understand what you're trying to say in general. I picked both of them February. I bought both Airbus and Boeing. You pick which? For me, I tell people pick one that you like more. They're literally the same price. You get 10 planes for both of them. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Mike said, I do think those liveries are coming as special arrivals. Yeah, the 738 came, I think, like at Prague or something. So I did see the 738 as a special arrival. So that's good. And I wonder, I don't know if my contract partner, maybe you and me, me and you, Mike, could probably try this out. I could redeem one of my planes, maybe like the A320, and you can tell me if it unlocks in your Woapedia from handling my plane, right? Because I don't know if that's the way it would work. Usually you don't get a Woapedia entry for handling a player plane, but this is a special livery that's only available, or mainly available to players, right? Who buys the Airbus pack or the Boeing pack. So I wonder if that's how it works. Gotta turn my fan on, man. It's so hot in here. Oh, Seabird, you sent me a contract. Thank you. Oh, plane contract. All right, nice. The Seabird, you did not send me an L plane. Oh, you sent me the AN12. Hmm. I'll accept both of yours. How about that? Because I still consider the AN12 an M plane for now. So you paid for an L plane, so I'll just give you both. You spent the points. Remember, you might buy both because you need help in Nagoya for fleet planes. I mean, it is a good way to kind of get instant fleet planes, right? I don't know if Nagoya is the best airport to use all the planes at, but like, does it really matter? I mean, if you have the premium pass, right, you get these airplanes available in your like over here. Even without the premium pass, you get a few, right? But like this airplane and this airplane get available for use at any airport. So that's why I have a whole long list here of planes that are available at all airports, because I just haven't redeemed them yet. I think like some of the larger ones I'm gonna save for like BKK, maybe even IAD when I unlock that, because that should be unlocked in maybe like a month or two. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna turn this on because I want the larger planes to start showing up. We got plenty of handling crew, right? I'm only using half of my handling crew, so I want more of the larger planes to show up now, so that way I can maximize that handling crew, and then I can switch it back off. But for now, stop getting these smaller planes and start getting the larger ones. The heart too. Look at that. 7 out of 10. Oh, you're not going to use all of them? Good. Okay, good. Maxim said, do you think where would be the next airport? We have no clue, really. So I have no idea. You know, maybe Africa. Probably Africa, right? Because that's the main continent that's missing. Because we got Australia, we got Asia, we got definitely have Europe. We have North America. Even though the Canadians are super loud about wanting a Canadian airport, we still have North America covered. We have South America. So Africa is really the one that's missing. We have the Middle East, right? It's gotta be like an African airport, I believe. But I mean, ultimately, it'll come out when it's ready, right? So if let's say a different airport is ready ahead of time, you know, like how we got New Orleans. New Orleans was not supposed to be like the next airport, right? Because like they told the developer said they wanted to get like an airport in each of the continents, so that way they could live up to their name, World of Airports. And yet we got MSY, right? Because MSY was ready. So that'll be one of the things that happens. That could happen. Well. You want Madeira? Nice. Mike's going on vacation. Nice. Yo, Nick says, what's up, Phat? I subscribed recently to your channel. Love your content. Very informative, helpful. Best of all, I handle one of your planes. Nice. You got my plane as a random arrival. I love to see it, man. Love to hear it. That's why I send my planes on random arrivals, because I just love seeing like other people getting them. So if you're part of the Phat Airlines Discord, feel free, and you get like my plane as a random arrival. Like I do like seeing those screenshots in the screenshot channel. that show like my plane with one required handling. Rick Rashid, what's good, man? What would you recommend that you want to add airports? I don't really have any recommendations or opinions on like which airport I want to see. I'm not like super well versed on airports around the world. Only know the airports that I've been to, right? So it's not a lot. Not a lot. If Africa have a playable airport, it would be in South Africa, but it would be isolated for other airports for doing player contracts. Perhaps. Please add a Canadian airport, Rick Rashid says. Yep. We ever got the AN225 contract? Yeah, I mean, you get that from leveling up in a lot of airports. You get the A225 contract, so definitely, definitely possible. I have gotten an A124 contract as like a regional or international contract on like these daily rolls that you get. That was pretty exciting when I got that. I still get the bug where it tells me there's no random arrivals available, which is sad. Probably need to reboot my device or something. Nice. Mike is going to be at MSY on Thursday. Let's go. I'm planning, have like a conference that I'm going to in October, and I'm trying to plan my trip. And it looks like there's another thing that's happening like the immediate, like 2 days before that other conference at a different city. So I'm thinking about like making it like all one trip, and that would require me to stop at IAD again. So that's going to be pretty cool. IAD. And I don't think United flies San Diego though. United flies IAD, so that's why I'm able to go there so frequently. I don't know, MSY, I don't know if United does that either. Like, not one of their main airports for sure. De-icing suffer. Area 51. I mean, they're World of Airports is going to be introducing like something called generic airports. So like we could, and apparently like based on how the community plays those generic airports will determine whether or not an airport makes it into the game like as a built out airport. So I don't know how that's going to work, right? We just got like some kind of generic information about generic airports, but I mean that could really cause a lot of a fun competition, so you can get more of your friends to play, you know, an airport you want to see in the game. Even though it's a generic airport, you get more people to play that generic airport, and then World of Airports can build it out, so that way it's a full-fledged airport in the game, you know, with the 3D model and everything. So maybe like a generic airport is just a 2D model, perhaps. I don't know. Like we don't have all the details about it, but there's so much opportunity that can happen, it sounds like, with these generic airports. What level is my GRU? I'm like 30 something. I'm like pretty close to international. I think I'm like 2 or 3 levels from international. You're excited to get an American airport because you want to get Frontier airline contracts? Yeah, and the Frontier ones are pretty cool. Frontier Airlines, because like you have a bunch of different liveries, because Frontier is very well known for like the different animals that are on their liveries. So like every plane has like a different animal on it. It's pretty cool. I would not fly Frontier again though. I don't like getting nickel and dimed. Like I prefer like an all inclusive type experience. What's your opinion on Ryanair and Spirit? Well, like I was saying about Frontier, I'm not a fan of getting nickel and dimed. I never flew Ryanair. I never flew Spirit, not yet at least. But I don't want to have to like pay for my seat. I don't like having to pay for every little thing. Because like I just want to buy it once and not have to worry about it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to like I don't want the ticket to look like it, like the ticket looks like it's cheaper, but then you want to like pick a seat that costs you another extra money. You need to, bring a carry-on with you. That costs you more money. You have to check a bag. That costs you more money. Sometimes, right? I don't know if this is the case or not, but personal item, extra money. You want to get some soda, extra money. It's like every little thing. Why I like to go to like all-inclusive hotels too when I go on vacation, because like I don't want to have to worry about like how much I'm spending, because it's already been spent. It's already been paid for. That's just my preference. I have not been out of North America. North America and the Caribbean. It is one of my goals. I would love to go to like every single airport in World of Airports in real life. Only been to IAD, and that was kind of by accident. But that was pretty cool. One out of what 10, 11? How many airports are in the game? I would love to go visit every single airport that's in the game in real life. No, never been out of North America yet. I've been to Mexico, US, Canada, Jamaica, Bahamas. That's it. Not a lot of stamps on my passport, not a lot of countries. Like the Sea Otter livery is the rarest Frontier livery. Nice. Innsbruck is beautiful because of the Alps. Yeah, I agree. I can't wait. I can only imagine how that would look in real life. That'd be pretty cool. I know, I think the developers are going to do another meetup this year too, so I hope they give more information about it, because I would love to that. They did the last meetup at Prague Airport, right? So that would have checked off so many boxes if I had a little bit more time to plan for it. I had a conflict anyways that I couldn't make it anyways, but if I could plan for it, because it's a long flight, to go from New Jersey to Prague or New Jersey to Innsbruck, and then most of those airports you can't really fly direct to. You have to go to LHR, right, or something, and then take a more local airline there. So yeah, I would love to meet up with the developers and then learn more about World of Airports and see an airport in real life as well. Because it was pretty cool seeing IAD in real life, and man, wow, I know this airport and I've never been here before. That was a strange feeling, do you know? Maxim's been in LHR, nice. No hints of what airport is next. I haven't seen any hints yet. No. Usually, they don't usually drop hints anymore. They usually just say, actually, yeah, they do kind of drop a screenshot. That's probably what you have to keep an eye out on, is social media, because that's what they did with GRU, right? They dropped a screenshot of, I think, the in real life taxiways, and some people, to me, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's a road. That's a taxiway. And some people are that's GRU. And I was like, all right. You guys know your airports. Especially if it's a local airport, I can get it. Like some of these people I know are not from South America, and they knew what airport it was. Imagine WOA added Area 51, right? We would have to get some military airplanes and some UFOs, right? I think they started calling UFOs something different now, right? I forgot what the initials were. They're always going to be UFOs to me. Forever UFO in my heart. Kamikaze's been at Prague, nice. Yo, what's up? Why Arctic? Can you send me a plane? Yeah, join the Phat Airlines Discord, exclamation point Discord, or look at the description on YouTube. And on the Phat Airlines Discord, we have a contract board. When I have planes available to send, I look at the contract board and send it there. We also have giveaways on the Phat Airlines Discord where VIPs, including me, can create a giveaway where everybody who joins the giveaway has a shot at winning that contract. Last but not least, we also have the Phat Airlines email newsletter. You can join the newsletter on phatairlines.com, and every other week there's an email that goes out with a plane that we have available to go to your airport. All you have to do is reply back to that email with you have to reply back to that specific email with your username and the airport you want it to be sent to, a compatible airport, and you can get a free plane that way as well. So we have plenty of ways for you to get contracts from us. If you want a contract here on stream for my stream only account, which I don't usually recommend to most people. For most people, I tell you, connect with my main account. A lot of people that I'm connected to on this account are like big players, like even Meek Raven of Bronze Realm. I know they have a pretty large fleet. I know they also would love if I played every single day on this account. You know, Mert, big fleet as well. So yeah. If you want to do a contract with me on this account, my stream account, then you would have to go on Twitch. Twitch, you get something called Phat Coins that you can earn for watching and following, and you redeem your Phat Coins for me accepting your contract. Unidentified aerial, UAP, yes. Unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP. UAP sounds lame, yeah. I wonder, why did they start calling it UAPs instead of UFOs? But you get to say phenomenon, yeah. Why are there two 752 in Wikipedia now? Ooh. What? Oh man, is this the presidential livery? Got two Ed Force ones. That is interesting. That is very good, interesting find. Hidden, what's up, dude? I don't have the Pepsi livery on this. I missed it on this account. Harsh Pro asked, IAD or LHR, what's the best? I mean, what do you consider? What's your criteria for your airport? For me, my criteria is I need to be able to play with other players. I want to be able to handle multiple planes at once. And if I can handle more planes at once in a less amount of time, that's even better. So both of them are pretty tied for my criteria for being the best. I typically, LHR just has a lot more L and X stands, so it allows me to handle a lot more planes at once. But I'm also restricted by handling crew at LHR, so I did buy more handling crew on my main account at LHR, so that way I can handle all of those what used to be called X and L planes. But like some people, you know, LHR is really nice too because you got all the European playable airports that are nearby. So that's great for player contracts. You also can get contracts from all over the world for player contracts, except from Sydney. IAD, you can get player contracts from like all over the world as well. The only difference is that you don't have as many smaller medium planes that can get there from other player destinations. You do have San Diego, you know, MSY and St. Martin that you can get, and LHR that you can get some medium planes from, and maybe some small planes on some of those airports, but not as many small and medium. So it really depends on what you want out of your best airport, what you mean by best airport. The 752 and WOA to go back to 2.0 when there's two different engine options available as separate unlocks. That makes sense, but I know I didn't realize that they had different engines. So, but I'm not an expert there either. .757's presidential livery has to be super rare because I've never seen it before. I have not seen it since 2.0. It used to be like a regular occurrence at Bari. Not anymore. Do I have Flight Radar 24? I have the app, but I don't pay for any of their premium plans. No. Sydney's still isolated for seaplanes in 752. I think you could get some seaplanes to Sydney from Nagoya. Yeah, Maxim. Rick Rashid, you have 40 player planes at Nagoya. Nice. Alright, right, we have this E175. It is, uh-oh. Been waiting for so long, it's already departed. And now it's gonna restart its travel. That's sad. Probably just back out of this airport. Yeah, what happens now too with these planes is they don't technically leave your airport as soon as you hit pushback. So if you were to back, like if I was to back out of this airport, all of these airplanes would eventually depart, but only the airplanes that I hit takeoff on will immediately depart. So actually even this plane, I go to the radar, you got DRDJ, we have that out here? No. You see, you don't see DRDJ at all over here. Oh, it's right here. Uh-oh. I wonder what happens. Yeah, I've waited for so long that it already departed. But what'll happen is it's supposed to depart as soon as you hit takeoff. I'm just going to let it sit there for now because we are about to end the stream here. But, our handling. Yeah, planes will depart eventually, even if you don't have them depart the runway. But there is a little bit of delay before that happens. So you're not going to see these planes immediately as soon as you hit pushback. Like this A40 CT0 or CTO is not on my radar at all. Not on the radar at all. Because I just told it to push back. Where's Nagoya? Right here. So, or not Nagoya, Muscat. Right, we got Muscat, but any of these planes, you're not going to see that plane from here. There's A40, nope. Yeah, none of those planes, that plane is not on the radar. if that plane was next for Q and I hit takeoff, it would show up immediately on the radar. What happens if you leave the airport with all those planes waiting to line up? They stay there? No. So they will disappear from your airport, just like it did before. But it would take a few minutes before they appeared on the radar. So there is like a period of time where it's like they're nowhere, you know, like they're not in your airport, they're not in the radar, they're not at the other player's airport. They seem to be in limbo, you know, like in the twilight zone. So that could be a little confusing. I think some people were confused before they read the patch notes about it, but eventually they do depart the airport. Like we have this plane right here, which is going to IAD, right? So the 77W, even though it hasn't left the airport, I'm pretty sure it should be. This is it right here. It's already left, right? Because it's on a delay. We could wait for like this one to show up eventually. This one will eventually show up. Or did it show up already? No way. No, not yet. Okay. That's Hammy's. So which one is Hammy's? Hammy's is right here, right? Oh, nope. This one. It just left, even though it's been taxiing for takeoff for a very long time. So yeah, just something that's interesting. It makes the departure manager a little bit more valuable, but still not necessary. It's not needed, right? You just need to make sure the planes are all pushed back before you leave. Now, I am very interested in what happens with this plane, because I think this plane made it to Leipzig already. I'm going to hit takeoff. RDJ. Yeah, it's not. Okay, good. Because it's technically at Mertz Airport already. That's good. If you do push takeoff on a plane that's already like in progress on the radar, it restarts it back to your airport. But it looks like because this airplane already made it to its destination, it's not restarting it. So that's good. Good to know. Good to know. Very niche. Not often that happens. But yeah, guys, I'm going to read the rest of your chats. See what you guys have to say. Now, they don't go back to the stands. Why do they do that when a plane not have takeoff? I think it's probably to give the departure, like my opinion is it gives the departure manager a little bit more value. And I mean, I think they wanted to make it a little bit more realistic. I wonder if it has something to do with alliances or like some of the future updates that they're going to be adding to the game too. So that could be a potential thing. Planes now show up after takeoff. It makes it more realistic too. Yep. Thank you, Noodle. Airplane purgatory, right? Hidden, you a lot of liveries you had unlocked prior to 3.0 now show is now unlocked. Interesting. It's weird. Yo, what's up, David Elio? Nice to see you, man. You enjoy 3.0.1. Nice. February said it's an annoying feature. Yeah, it can be. You get used to it though. You can still back out of the airport and come back in. It doesn't really affect. The only time it affects you is if you're actively playing at airport with other people. So let's say you're playing at Leipzig with somebody at Prague, then you want to like make sure you're having that plane take off, so that way you can just keep going back and forth. Like if you're playing at LHR with somebody at IAD, like it doesn't really matter how long like it takes for you to take off, you know, like just leave the airport, come back in. Now all the departures are cleared. You have a nice clean taxiway and nothing to worry about. When is 3.0.2? And when they have more bugs to fix, or when they have the bugs fixed, like this one. This is like the third time this has happened to me. Funny looking. Oh no. All right, well guys, that is it for me for today. I will be here again next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Again, if you don't know what time 11 a.m. Eastern is, you can just go to your World of Airports, go to your go to Washington Airport and look at the time. It is 2 p.m. for me, and it is time for me to go. Guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic weekend. Join the Phat Airlines Discord, the Phat Airlines newsletter at phatairlines.com as well, please. I love sending you guys contracts. I love that you guys are replying back to the emails. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much for being here. Hopefully we'll see you next week. All right, everybody, have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.